All right, Meta, what's your topic?
Well, it's gonna be samurais again, so
Yes.
surprise. I
Color me
decided
surprised.
I decided to go back to something that I actually love immensely so, and that is a series that
You had a chance to talk about in our last episode, and you did.
I did have a chance to talk about in the last episode, but I decided with a different topic. But this time I'm going at it because they just came out with the new arc and everything. Rurouni Kenshin is my topic.
After how long?
Oh,
Since the official end?
Oh, it's been years since the official end.
18 years or something. It's been a long time.
The manga ended in 1999, November 4th.
Yeah, I called it.
Yes.
18 years.
Yeah, 18. Well, almost 18 years. We're not in.
We're rounding up.
November yet. Rounding up. Okay.
It's a month and a half.
Yeah, it's been 18 years since series ended, and we're now getting a new arc to it, the Hokkaido Arc. The series ran for what is essentially considered to be 3 arcs. You have the Tokyo Arc, the Kyoto Arc, and then the new Tokyo Arc, I guess. Because it goes back to Tokyo, and that's how they were doing it. Yeah, they finally just released with the new chapter for the Hokkaido Arc, which is supposed to be a continuation of the series. It's about...
I don't know what Rurouni Kenshin is. Tell me what it is, Meta.
Yes, you do. Don't start with me.
I know, I'm just pretending to be someone who doesn't.
If it makes you feel any better, I know nothing about.
There you go.
Kenshin, so.
Explain it.
All right, I guess
You
I'll
never
explain
watched it?
I never watched it.
Wow.
You should.
I've even read it. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Rurouni Kenshin is a series that takes place during
Shonen Jump.
Well, no, I was gonna say the Meiji era, but
Shonen Jump manga.
It is a Shonen Jump, yes. It doesn't
Jump.
take place during Shonen Jump.
Well, it depends on your
I mean,
perspective. Do you live in the
I was
manga
gonna say-
world or our world?
Oh my god. So yes,
Doesn't make any sense.
Continue.
there is a Shonen Jump, which for those of you who don't know, because thanks OBS, was a serialization, and it actually still goes on. Although I think it's changed up how it's done. But long story short, it posted out new chapters of well-liked or high-quality manga to give people to watch and the like. So it was Rurouni Kenshin ran through that, and it's running through it again.
What's it about?
I would get to it. OBS, God. So Rurouni Kenshin is essentially about a character by the name of, you can guess it, Kenshin, who is essentially
Rurouni.
Yes, a Rurouni, which actually isn't a word, as
They make up a lot of
They do.
Yeah, macaroni.
Sabacto or whatever it is.
Sakabato, yeah, the reverse sword, which was
Yes.
not a thing either.
But everyone in the thing is like, oh yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, yeah, it totally
Don't
is.
need to...
It's a shonen manga, so there you go.
Just roll with it. Roll with it. Anyway, the dude named Kenshin is has been wandering Japan essentially for the last 10 years since the Bakumatsu Revolution and during the time when the ports opened. Essentially, Captain Perry from America came to the ports and he said, "We're going to open up your borders," and that caused a rift between 2 factions, the old shogunate and the emperor, which is simplifying it, but we're going to keep it simple because there's a lot more to it. Long story short, the people who are like, we kind of need to give back power to the emperor and, you know, get along with the times, won. That was the side that Kenshin was on. He has a history known as the Hitokiri Batosai, or the Manslayer, and specifically was noted as a manslayer for the style that he utilized, which was Bato Jutsu.
Or if you watch the Batosai, the Manslayer.
Yeah. Which is just essentially a mixture, and again, that's probably grossly simplifying it, but again, to keep it simple, since we're on a time limit here, is a mixture between Iaijutsu and Kenjutsu, which has a specialized focus on those areas and in the mixturing qualities of them. So he's spending now the last 10 years, he's been wandering since the end of that revolution, going around Japan and essentially helping out individuals that he can see fit, and his adventures bring him back to Tokyo and to a dojo called the Kamiakashin style, who is currently being run by its current head, Karu Kamiya, and she is in a bit of a trouble, and he ends up helping her out. Long story short, she invites him to stay, and regardless of what his past is, invites him to stay all the same. And he does. He takes up her offer, and it leads into a number of stories. But it's a wonderful series. It's very well done. It follows him and some other characters that obviously come into the story because it is a shonen. But it follows him and essentially this man who's considered to be the best of the best from the start, following a major theme of responsibility, taking responsibility for the past 10 years for the lives that were taken and the war that came before this era of peace, and attempting to maintain that peace even as others may not wish for it or try to take advantage of the new laws that are in place. I'm not going to spoil obviously in the story because it's such a worth read, but the series was considered to be one of the best series ever to be produced and published for manga in general. It's as of 2014, it is expected or believed that there are about 70 million copies in circulation. It has been ranked among the 100 most watched series in Japan multiple times, and it was received a numerous amount of praises. It has received top 10s, top 100s in all sorts of lists during its publication and serialization and run. It is considered by many to be a classic anime and manga from the 90s. There is a lot of there's a lot of praise heaped onto this, and it's for a very, very good reason.
So,
Now it's
18 years. It's back.
Yeah, it's back.
Do you think, just because he couldn't get any
Yeah.
success with anything else, is this kind of a cash grab?
No, I want to say, God, there is a big part of me that wants to say yes to that, and sticking to that brutal honesty.
It could
I
be
think-
multiple things.
I can
Yeah.
think it could be multiple things. Unfortunately, Nobuhiro Watsuki, who is the writer for it, he really built into the series. The series took off, and every series kind of after that never really completed or succeeded. I don't know. I mean, truth be told, he's one of those people who wrote a series and then never had to touch it again. The royalties would have let him guide himself through life, I think, depending on what he does or whatever.
And not many
But,
people make two series that are very popular.
yeah,
Unless
it's,
you're Togashi.
you know, there's 1 in 100 and then there's 1 in a million. So, but
Got Hunter x Hunter and what's it called?
I mean, the Death Note's got at least Death Note and
Exactly.
Bakuman. Then
yeah. I mean, it's very rare for a writer in manga to have two series that.
yeah,
both
I mean, I'm not
succeed
saying of the
immensely
equal
well.
levels of fame, but I mean, a lot of people will then turn around and have an ongoing manga for a while, like
Yeah.
Like Naruto.
because I read a lot of. Well, I mean, he's
Or
just
the,
running it back. He's
or
running
Full
it into the
Full
younger
Metal
generation.
Alchemist.
Yeah, it's Silver
Alchemist.
Spoon.
But anyways,
You had like Eye Shield 21. They both was artist writer duo. They've both gone on to do a few things since then. They both have currently on running stuff. The artist is doing One Punch Man.
Yep. Point is,
But yeah.
is that it's a very successful series. It went on really well.
Yeah.
But going back to your question, a part of me kind of, I want to say no. I want to think better of him because having read some of the stuff, I was very fascinated by the guy when I was actually reading up on some of his stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, he mentored some of the several well-known manga artists, including One Piece creator Eiichiro Oda. He also created Shaman King as well as Mr. Full Swing. They're writers, authors / writers, whatever.
I wonder if he just.
mentored. It's
Interesting.
but going. I keep jumping off of it. Part of it says I want to say yes because again, none of the other series have done anything. But a part of me says no.
Actually, I
because
mean, the one he
don't
did
really need
directly
to.
after that. The one he did directly after that got received, I believe. What is it called?
Isn't it the Western one or whatever?
Baku.
Oh yeah, Buzo Renkin.
Yeah, that one. That one did pretty well.
That did pretty well,
But
but I
yes,
think
his Frankenstein one did not do well.
No.
Ran for a long time, but I don't think it did anything. I think it was very sporadic too.
He hasn't done, like, again, it's not tons of stuff. Buzo Renkin went for a couple of years, but it's definitely not. I mean, the one that came after was Gunblaze West, which unfortunately died pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then Tales of Frankenstein.
That one,
Embalming, another Tale of Frankenstein. That one actually went longer than Buzo Renkin, so
but I think it was like very sporadically released because I did follow that for a long time. Not Mangaka.
I mean, I would say Buzo Renkin is probably his success after it, but Rurouni Kenshin truly is like de facto for him.
Yeah, because so one thing. So
wait, let me answer your question.
Okay.
Damn it!
You keep saying that.
Well, I gotta finish it though, and which comes back to the second part I was gonna say is that I really don't think he needs to. I don't think he needs to actually make this a cash grab. If it was a cash grab, it doesn't really have to be. The series is so bloody successful.
He could be out of money.
Yes, he could absolutely be out of money. You're absolutely right. But do we know that?
Yeah, but we don't know either way.
No, okay, that's fine. But I'm saying I don't think it is because I just don't really think he needs to. And until we have proof that it's one way or the other, it's a moot point.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see. Because, so I'm going to give a 18-year-old ending that he couldn't, it ends with him not being able to continue practicing. And in this new it's too much for his body, basically. He's not built for this style he uses. And then in this new one, he's just like, throw me my sword, and uses his move. I really hope they expand on that.
Well, they specifically stated that over time it'll deteriorate. Like, it's not just suddenly he can't do it anymore. It's just that she's saying that eventually, as time goes on, you will no longer be able to wield.
I thought he got syphilis and died.
We're not talking about that. Trigger me. You'll trigger me real fast.
I'm triggered.
But yeah, so the new Hokkaido Arc follows a couple of new characters. They introduce them, and it's kind of frustrating because they you have the Hokkaido Arc, but there's technically a before Hokkaido Arc. It's a side story which leads into some characters in the Hokkaido Arc.
Yeah, this is like 2 chapters that they put out for free though. So
yeah, it's out for free. You can find it on Viz.
Done by his wife.
who is also named Kaoru. I thought that was interesting. So you kind of want to read the side story because it does give some backstory on the characters as to why they're at the dojo and who they are and a lot of things, because there are some things that are brought up from the old series that you're like, wait, how did all this happen? Why are they here? Who are these people? What? I am kind of glad to see that we got actually some future stuff because, I mean, we got to see their child. We are getting to see Yahiko. We're able to see him kind of grown up and become kind of a character between Kenshin and Sonosuke, which is
sad
really
Sonosuke
cool.
is in America.
He is
I was sad to see that.
Doing American things, no doubt.
I hope that's
cattle.
just a rumor. I hope he shows up. He has to show up.
That's the lie because he didn't want to pay his massive tab.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, so the Hokkaido Arc is following essentially these new characters. It's kind of setting up for stuff, and I don't want to spoil it, but they are essentially going to Hokkaido because something gets revealed that's really weird, sort of, kind of, maybe. So we'll see what happens. But since the start of the serialization, I'm kind of excited to see it happen. The new Hokkaido Art just started off with its first chapter. It just dropped on last Monday, correct?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. It came out at the beginning of the month over in Japan. It obviously takes time to translate, blah, blah, blah. But the series is now going in a new direction. I'm really glad to see that we're getting it back. I'm kind of excited to see like how the characters have changed, how they've grown, any new things that they're going to find. They're obviously adding in newer, younger characters because it is a shonen. You need to have you don't need to, but it's a staple to have a character who are going to grow and expand and learn and kind of, become their own beasts at the end of the day. Which, I mean, Yahako was there for, in the original series, that's really what he was there for, he was to be the character who grew as time went on. Because, Kenshin didn't have any real place to grow, or so you think.
He learned his super move.
He learned his super move. He leveled up.
That's about it.
but yeah, I'm really excited to see the series come in. Again, I'm really happy to see that it's going along the way. I really feel like I need to go read back the old series again though, and the manga and whatnot.
Yeah, I've been doing that. I'm
Yeah.
about a third of the way through.
It's not super long.
No, there's only 28 books, so
250 chapters.
Yeah, 200 some chapters. You can read that pretty easily in like
very
a month.
quickly, yeah.
Like not even trying. No, I'm excited too. I'm glad they didn't do the Boruto thing where it's like, oh, it's Kenshin's son, and now he's dealing with this like many years later, and you have old Kenshin and all this stuff. Like it's just a few years after the end of the manga.
Yeah, I think
probably
it's
directly
5 years.
after, not each chapter or whatever.
I mean, Yahiko looks a
his
lot
son
older.
looks the same. Well, yeah, no,
No,
that's the same from the final chapter.
Oh,
At the
okay, yeah.
final?
When they
Yeah.
time skip a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, the final chapter, his son is still kind of a young baby, and I think it's a few more years even after that final chapter. That because his son is now actually a bit older.
Yep.
I don't know.
We get
So
to see
I
some.
It's. I mean,
I read
it's hard to
somewhere
tell, but
I read somewhere it's 5 years, but I mean,
We get
don't
to see
quote me
the Sato's back. Maybe
Yep,
we'll get
Saito
some
is back.
Aoshi and some Oniwaban guys. Maybe later on.
yeah, I'm kind of excited to see like where characters have grown from the original cast. I'm excited to see like how some of the other characters are doing with things. It's really cool to see the relationship Kenshin has now because his character heavily changes in the third arc, which you won't see in the anime, but in the manga, his character heavily changes after that arc, and the things that go on it. So,
Satsuma Rebellion. How long ago was that from?
the Satsuma Rebellion was when Sanosuke was a kid.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that the Sagara? What's his name?
That is 6
The
years.
Sekihota?
That is years prior to this starting. So it can't be that long ago.
That can't be right then. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Or they fuddled with the timeline.
Yeah,
I
they-
think it might
One,
only.
two.
Yeah,
Because Sanosuke was like a kid when that happened.
Yeah, when the rebellion was going on, when the
He was like
farmers were
12.
going around, the People's Army, when they were going around, yeah, he was like only 12 or 11 or something. And
Yeah,
he's like, I think
He's probably like
18 or
18.
older.
Yeah, he looks like he's like
Yeah, he's-
18.
I know, I could be wrong. I mean, the character.
I think it may have only been. I think it's only been a year about since the ending, the final chapter.
Yeah, probably.
I'll do some research on it and eventually get like an answer probably next one just to verify, but it's probably somewhere. But yeah.
Yeah,
I
I'm
actually,
excited.
like it's kind of funny too, because like like you got that, like we were making mention of it. It's like Naruto and Boruto, and like how you're seeing the new kids and whatnot, and time's gone on. But like it's a little bit different because Naruto led into that. Like the series ended with them in their future, and then it just went right into the next series with them with their kids and whatnot. But for Kenshin, it's for us, it's different as people on the outside, like in the actual real world, because it's quite literally 18 years. Well, not literally, but rounded up.
Yeah, it's been a
literally
long time.
18 years since we've seen stuff. So that's given a lot of time for.
And I can already
Watsuki-
tell it's just not going to suck as bad as Boruto does.
Yeah, I mean, it gives a lot of time for Watsuki to really think, to really decide, and he's probably had a lot of time to reflect and really look at some stuff and decide where he wants to go with this, as opposed to the other writer who is just, he's always on fire, always writing.
Yeah, well, Kishimoto isn't even really involved in Boruto. It's one of his assistants that draws it. They just go, "Can we do this?" And he goes, "Sure, whatever." It's pretty much all his involvement. He was more involved with the movie, which the movie's actually good, but the manga is not, in my opinion. But I think this will be better, and the art's
I'm hoping it will.
pretty good.
The art is hands down. If you were to take the old books and probably compare them to this, it's very clearly
It's a monthly too, so he has time to work on the good action scenes when we get to them.
Yes, I'm very excited to see the action scenes because, gosh, dang, were they fantastic.
Yep.
So, all right, but that's pretty much all I got to say on it. I'm just excited. I'm ready for more.
We'll see where it goes.